Now we are going to work on dividing rational expressions. And dividing rational expressions, we're going to use the same idea as we were with dividing fractions. So remember, when we divide fractions, we first have to change the division to multiplication, and then we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. And then again, just like multiplying regular fractions, we look to cancel, whether it be up and down or diagonally, before we actually multiply. So here's an example. Go ahead and write this down. And again, like I said, the first step I want to do is change the division to multiplication. So my first fraction is not going to change at all. I'm going to change the division sign to multiplication, and then I will take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now, just like when we multiplied rational expressions before, we now want to look to factor. So I'm going to factor everything I can factor. The numerator of my first fraction is a difference of squares. So I get an x plus 1 and an x minus 1 by taking the square root of x squared and the square root of 1. My denominator of my second fraction is just a regular trinomial, so I get x minus 7 and x plus 1, because I'm asking myself what multiplies to negative 7 and adds to negative 6. My numerator of my second fraction stays the same. And now I have a GCF in the denominator of my second fraction, and that GCF is just x. So I pulled that GCF of x out and then divided everything by x to see what I have left, which is still a trinomial, which I'm now going to have to factor again. So the only thing I did change in this step now is that I did factor the trinomial in the denominator of the second fraction to x plus 2 times x minus 1. Now that I have that, it's just like regular multiplication, where I can look to cancel top and bottom, or diagonally. So I have an x plus 1 in the numerator of my first fraction and an x plus 1 in the denominator of my first fraction. I have an x minus 7 in the denominator of my first fraction and an x minus 7 in the numerator of my first fraction. And then I have an x minus 1 and an x minus 1 that can cancel. So when I go to multiply straight across, my numerator is now just 1, and my denominator is going to be x times x plus 2. So we're going to try one on your own now. Go ahead and write this down and try it on your own, and then pause this video and work on it. And when you are finished, start the video again and we shall go over it. Alright, so hopefully you got this correct, and just go through each step and let's check it out. So very first step, again, I want to change my division to multiplication, and then I take the reciprocal of my second fraction. Now that it's a multiplication problem, I can look to factor. So I have a GCF in my in my numerator of my first fraction. That GCF is actually 17. So I get 17 times the quantity of x plus 7. I factor x plus 5, x squared plus 5x minus 14 to get x plus 7 times x minus 2. I factor my numerator of my second fraction to get x minus 2 times x minus 1. And the denominator of my second fraction, there's nothing I can factor. Now that it is just a regular multiplication problem, I look to cancel. So I have an x plus 7 in the numerator and an x minus 7 in the denominator. I have an x minus 2 in the numerator and an x minus 2 in the denominator. There's nothing else I can cancel, so now I multiply straight across. So I'd have 17 times the quantity of x minus 1, and then an 9x minus 1 in the denominator of my second. That leaves me with an answer of 17 times the quantity of x minus 1 divided by 9x minus 1. Hopefully you're now masters of the division of rational expressions.